Students, welcome to the course Testing of Fibers and Yarns. Testing of Fibers and Yarns. Okay, so today's class we are going to discuss about the important fiber dimension, one of the important fiber dimension, that is fiber maturity, that is maturity of cotton fiber. Okay, so before going to discuss in detail about the today's presentation, so we'll discuss a while about what we have discussed in the last class. Okay, so in the last class we have discussed in detail about the two important fiber dimensions. One is this fiber length, and the second one is fiber fineness. Okay, so these two important fiber dimensions we have discussed in the last unit. Okay, so if you look at the fiber length and fiber fineness, what we have discussed in that fiber length and fiber fineness, what is the importance of fiber length and the fiber fineness, and how it will affect the properties of yarns and thereby the fabrics and thereby the final garments which we are making out of it. Understand? And also we have seen in detail about the length measurement, that is what are the different methods to measure the fiber length. In the same way, we have discussed in detail about the different methods which are there to measure the fiber fineness. So all these things we have discussed in detail in the previous class, that is unit number 2. Okay, so today we are going to start with unit number 3, where we are going to discuss about another two important fiber dimensions along with this, apart from fiber length and fiber fineness. So one such fiber dimension is fiber maturity, and the second dimension is, that is important fiber dimension, is fiber strength. So these are there in this unit number 3. Okay, so in this unit we are going to discuss about what is the importance of fiber maturity and what are the different ways to express the fiber maturity. And the same way, what is the fiber strength and what are the different ways to measure the fiber strength. So this is what we are going to discuss in unit number 3. Okay, so today we will start with this fiber maturity. Okay, fiber maturity. So today's presentation we are going to discuss the following contents. So first we are going to discuss about what is this fiber maturity and in what way this fiber maturity is important aspect to be considered while starting starting stage of spinning process. Understand? And we are going to discuss about the different ways to express this fiber maturity. So one such way is maturity ratio. The second one is maturity count and measurement of fiber maturity. Maturity of cotton fiber. So these are the contents for today's presentation. Okay. Now let us go into the introduction part to this fiber maturity and how it is going to be. That is different ways to express the fiber maturity and then how it is going to be measured. Okay, so let us go into the topic. Okay. So if you look at the cotton fiber, so if you just think about the term fiber maturity, that is cotton fiber maturity. Okay, so this maturity is purely related to that is the growing conditions of the fiber. At what conditions, atmospheric conditions, the fiber is growing. Understand? So, in order to understand in detail about this fiber maturity, we should understand first of all how this fiber is growing. How fiber is growing. Understand right from the beginning to ending what are the different stages in the fiber growing. And then we have to understand what is the morphology of cotton is. That is, what are the different regions in the cotton morphology. Understand? So we should understand this aspect first before going to discuss about what way this fiber maturity will affect the quality of yarn and then the quality of fabrics, finally the garments. Understand? So if you look at the cotton fibers, first formed, they start as a thin tubulus which initially grown only in length. So initially where the cotton fiber, whatever the cotton fibers first formed, they start as a thin tubulus which initially grow in lengthwise. And when the maximum length is reached, a secondary fiber wall then begins to build up. Secondary fiber wall begins to build up on the inner surface of the thin primary wall. So initially thin primary wall will be there, which will grow in length direction, and once the maximum length is reached, where the secondary wall is going to build up on the inner surface of the primary wall. Okay, and this process continues until shortly before the cotton ball opens. Now you can see here, this is the opening of cotton ball. So until the opening of cotton ball, this building up of primary wall and then secondary wall is going to be there. Okay, and after opening the fibers and they dry and collapse to give a typical cross section of cotton, that is a bean shaped cotton, that is the cross section. When it is in the case of longitudinal view, where a ribbon like structure is going to form, that is convoluted ribbon form is going to produce. Understand? So if you look at the fiber maturity, we should understand how the fiber is growing. So initially if you look at the cotton, where a thin tubulus is going to form in a lengthwise, so which we are calling it as the primary wall, thin primary wall. And soon after the maximum length is reached, where the secondary fiber wall is going to build up on the internal surface of the thin primary wall. And this primary wall and then secondary wall build up is going to continue till the ball opens. And soon after the ball opens, where we are going to get a dry fibers which are of typically convoluted ribbon in structure. Convoluted ribbon like structure, we are going to get it. Okay, now if you look at the morphology of cotton, now you can see clearly what are the different stages in development, and you can easily identify from this morphological view of cotton. Okay, so now if you look at this morphology, as I told you already, where this is the primary wall. This is the primary wall. This is the primary wall and this is the secondary wall. So the primary wall is going to build up. So on the internal surface of the primary wall, the secondary wall is going to start build up, and these two things are going to continue until the fiber ball, that is the cotton ball, opens. And soon after the cotton ball opens, where we are going to get a typically, that is convoluted ribbon like form. Now you can see here, so this part is nothing but lumen. This part is nothing but lumen, so which is characterized as a halo structure. That means inside the lumen, where we are having a gaps, we are having this halo portion. So that we call it as lumen. So depending upon the growing conditions of the fiber, so there will be the development of all these regions will be there in the fiber. Even though we are getting the cotton from same crop, we cannot say that the same atmospheric conditions, we cannot say that all the fibers are having, that is mature. That means whatever the layers, that is thin wall is there, that is this wall like things and all, where it has to be developed. So whenever we are saying that the fiber is mature, where there should be a thick fiber, that is thick wall surface will be there, should be there, and there will be thin lumen will be there. Now you can see, I'll just draw the structure. Think that this is the cotton. Okay, now this is the thick wall and this is the lumen, that is halo portion. Now if you look at here, the wall is thick and the lumen, that is the lumen portion is thin. So this is the criteria where we can say that the fiber is a matured fiber. Understand? So depending upon the atmospheric conditions or growing conditions, where there is differences in the growth of the fiber, so that we are characterizing the fiber as the matured fibers or immature fibers or dead fibers. And these are half matured fibers and dead fibers. Okay. Now, so if you look at the fibers, so we are going to consider a fiber with thinner walls. Fibers with thinner walls. As I mentioned you already, the fiber with thick wall, thick cell wall, we can consider it as matured fibers. So when any fiber which is considered as the thinner walls had not matured, for the same length of time as the normal fibers. So when you compare with the normal fibers, if a fiber which is having a thinner walls are characterized as those fibers are not mature fibers. So hence the term maturity come into existence. But it is now known that the incomplete wall thickening, whatever this incomplete wall thickness, so there is a drop in wall thickness, it is purely due to poor growth conditions. Whatever the growth conditions are there, because of the poor growth conditions, it results in the thinner wall structures. And those fibers we are characterizing it as immature fibers. And I told you already, even though if you take the cotton fibers from the same crop, we cannot say that all the fibers are matured fibers. And there will be some immature fibers also. So that is also because of the growing conditions and the changes in the atmosphere. And there will be some percentage of immature fibers. Obviously it will be there. So it is very, very important for the yarn manufacturer to decide, okay, before start doing the yarn production itself, he should know what is the percentage of matured fibers and percentage of immature fibers in the fiber, that is bale of cotton. And based on that idea, where he has to go with this production. Otherwise what will happen? Because of the presence of immature fibers, it gives lot of difficulties in the processing, that is during the yarn production itself, where it forms lot of nets and where we can expect number of end breakages. That is because of the immature fibers are poor in strength. We can expect more number of end breakages. And also, if these immature fibers are more, what will happen? It forms nebs. It forms nebs during processing, that is during the production process of yarn. Likewise, we have more, that is difficulties with these immature fibers. So that's why it is very important for us to understand what is the percentage of matured fibers. We should know the maturity ratio, or we should know the maturity index of the cotton fibers which we are using to make yarn. Understand? Now, because whatever these immature fibers are there, which are having thin walls, their physical properties are different. That is, the diameter is different, and the strength of the fiber is different, and the fineness of fiber is varies. Fineness of fiber is varying. Okay, so they are weaker and less stiff than the matured fibers. So because of the thin wall structure, whatever the fiber is there, that is immature fibers, where it is having differences in their physical properties. Physical properties, or whatever these properties are different, and they are weaker and less stiff when compared to the normal matured fibers. And because of these reasons, so these fibers, immature fibers, can cause faults in the articles made from this cotton, that is cotton containing high percentage of immature fibers. High percentage of immature fibers. So one should be careful enough in finding out the percentage of immature fibers in the fiber strand which we are using to make continuous length of, that is, staple yarns. Okay, staple yarns. Okay, and if you look at the various faults of the immature fibers, there are various faults which can occur due to the presence of immature fibers. If you look at those faults, breaking during processing, that is, we can expect the fibers to break, that is, the yarn which we are making out of this high percentage of immature fibers will break easily, and then tendency to form nets. Already you know what are these nets, and tendency to become entangled around the particles of trash and then any other dust particles. Okay, it can easily entangle around those trash and then dust particles, and it adversely affect the yarn and then fabric appearance. Because of this thing, that is entangled around the particles of trash and the leaf, it will affect or adversely affect the yarn and then fabric appearance. And finally, whatever the yarn which we have produced consists of immature fibers, when we subject these yarns for dyeing, either we can do the dyeing in the stage of yarn or in fabric stage. Okay, so if you are doing the dyeing in case of yarn stage, or if you convert the yarn into fabric and if you perform the dyeing, what will happen is, these immature fibers, it will not take up much amount of dye when compared with the mature fibers. Obviously, what will happen after dyeing, we can see the levelness variations in the levelness of dyeing. That is, dye uptake by matured fibers is different and then immature fiber is different, so that we will get the uniformity variations in the dyed fabric. Understand? So likewise, these are the various faults that are occurring because of the presence of immature fibers. Okay. Now, if you look at the maturity, cotton fiber maturity, as I was telling you about this maturity, which can be defined based on the cell wall thickness of the fiber. Based on the cell wall thickness of the fiber. Okay. Suppose the cell wall thickness, now you can see, think that this is the cotton fiber, where now you can see here so this is this cell wall thickness. This is cell wall thickness, and this is the ribbon width. It's nothing but the width of the lumen, that is the hollow portion in the fiber. Width of hollow portion in the fiber. Now, here if you look at this first diagram, the second one, where we have an instance there is an instance so this is the cell wall thickness and this is ribbon width, that is the width of hollow portion. Now here these are the representations of two varieties of, that is two cotton fibers. So this is the fiber where you can see clearly here where in this fiber the cell wall thickness is more than the ribbon width, that is where here the thickness of cell wall is more and the thickness of the hollow portion is less. So this is a case where we can consider that the fibers are matured fibers. The fibers are matured. And in the second case you can see clearly where the thickness of cell wall is less, whereas the hollow portion is more. Thickness of hollow portion is more. So this is a case where we can consider that these fibers are immature fibers. These fibers as immature fibers. And depending upon the cell wall thickness and then the thickness of the lumen, where we are going to decide the maturity of the fiber is. So still, if the cell wall thickness is very less, and if the ribbon width is more, we can consider that those fibers as dead fibers. And if the cell wall thickness, it is in between these two, that is matured and then dead fibers, we can categorize those fibers as immature fibers, that is half matured fibers. So matured fiber, half matured fiber and then dead fiber are immature fibers. Understand? So this is how we are going to characterize or categorize the fibers. So what is the base for all such categorizations? That is cell wall thickness and then the thickness of the hollow portion of the fiber, that is the ribbon width of the fiber. Understand? So that is what we are discussing. Now whatever this fiber maturity, it is defined based on cell wall thickness of the fiber. And any cotton fiber if you take, so it is having a halo in its structure, and that halo portion only we are talking that it is as, or we are saying that it is lumen. Okay, if the fiber wall is thicker, and then the halo portion is thinner, we can say that those fibers are matured fibers. Now you can see here clearly in this image. So here you can see the cross sections of the different types of fibers. Now you can see here clearly this is a matured fiber. This is the matured fiber, and this is immature or half matured fiber, and these are dead fibers. Now if you observe these three fibers carefully, on what basis this categorization has been given? It is purely based on the cell wall thickness and the thickness of the lumen, that is hollow portion. Now you can see clearly, so where the cotton is, you know that the cross section of cotton is bean shape. This is the bean shape of cotton, and now you can see, so this is the lumen. This is the hollow portion which is there in the fiber. Now you can see here, so this is the hollow portion. This is the hollow portion which is there in the fiber. Now you can see, so this is the hollow portion which is there in the fiber. Okay, now this is, we can say that, so this width is nothing but This width is nothing but the cell wall thickness. Now you can see here cell wall thickness, and now you can see. So now you can easily understand. So in the first case, where the cell wall thickness is more, whereas the thickness of lumen is very less. That is, the thickness of halo portion is very less. So we can say that these type of fibers are matured fibers. Okay, in the second case, if you take where compared to these matured fibers, here we don't have that much cell wall thickness. But where you can see, that is, the halo portion is somewhat higher than this first one. And now you can see the third one. If you look at this structure, most of the cross section where you can see the halo portion, where the cell wall thickness is very, very less. You can see here, the cell wall thickness is very, very less, whereas the halo portion is more. That means most of the fiber where the halo portion is dominant as dead fibers. And the thickness of cell wall, if it is in between matured fibers and dead fibers, we can say that these fibers are half matured fibers or immature fibers. So mature fibers, immature or half matured fibers, and dead fibers. Understand? So all these classification is purely based on the cell wall thickness and the thickness of lumen. Okay. So again, this is second thing. Okay. Now, and I told you already, whatever the fibers which is lying in between, immature, that is matured and then dead, we can say that they are half matured fibers or immature fibers. And the growth conditions of these fibers, it is based on the fertilizers used in cotton plant and weather, etc. So depending upon these conditions where the growth is going to depend. And the material with high number of immature fibers causes fiber damage during processing and causes high number of nebs and irregular absorption of dye. And this is already, I think we have covered this topic, this point. So if a yarn, if you are producing in the sense, if it is having high number of immature fibers or the fibers are not mature, obviously what will happen? Where it gives lot of troubles in the processing. That is during yarn making or during coloration of the textiles. Understand? Now, if you look at here, this is how this is the immature fiber, and then this is the mature fiber. Simply by looking at this cotton, that is ball here, this one and this one, easily you can segregate. Easily you can say that this is immature and this is mature fiber, that is cotton fiber balls. And this is the morphology of cotton. Now you can see it little bit clear, where this is cuticle, that is outermost layer, and this is primary wall, and this is secondary wall, and finally here it is lumen. So any cotton fiber if you take, where there will be some halo portion, and that portion we call it as lumen. So depending upon the cell wall thickness and then the thickness of lumen, where the fibers are categorized as matured fibers or immature fibers, like this. Okay. And these immature fibers, these fibers creates lot of problems in the processing, like neb generation, and if you dye these fibers, like the yarns which consists of these fibers, it causes improper dyeing because of pora, that is dye take by these fibers. Okay, and if you look at this cell wall thickness, so okay, so that can be denoted by the degree of thickness, and it can be represented with this letter theta, and the formula is cross-sectional area of fiber wall divided by area of fiber wall, that is area of circle with same perimeter. So whatever this cell wall thickness, this can be expressed and this can be denoted by degree of thickening. A degree of thickness that can be represented with theta, and that is going to be measured based on this thing. It is the ratio of cross-sectional area of fiber wall. So what is the cross-sectional area of the fiber wall divided by area of circle with same perimeter. Area of circle with same perimeter. So now we can represent this theta is equal to A divided by A dash. A divided by A dash. So what is A? Area of, it is cross-sectional area of fiber wall to that of area of fiber wall with same perimeter. Okay, suppose if you consider the fiber is in its circular, that is if you assume fiber is circular in cross-section. If you look at the area, so what is the area formula? Pi r square. And what is perimeter? That can be represented with pi p, which is pi d. Okay, now, so pi, so r, how can we write this r? Or otherwise we'll leave it like this, pi r square into, so we are multiplying and divided with 4 pi. Multiplying and dividing with 4 pi. Now how much it will be? So 4 into pi square r square divided by 4 pi. Understand? Now, so this is the area, that is A dash. Now when it comes to this perimeter, P pi into, so D is nothing but we can make it as 2R. 2 into R. Why? Because R is equal to D by 2. So D is equal to 2 into R. That is radius. Now, if you do the square in both the sides, so P square it becomes P square and this is pi square into 4 into R square. So that means, how can we write 4 into pi square into R square? Is it right? So, now if you look at this formula here, so instead of 4 into pi square into R square, we can write P square by 4 pi. So, the A dash value is P square by 4 pi. Now, if you substitute this value here, how much it becomes? So, A, it will be there as such. Why? Because we don't know the actual cross-sectional area of fiber wall. And A dash value, we arrived at P square by 4 pi. P square by 4 pi. And if you simplify it, 4 pi by P square into A. So, finally, this theta is equal to 4 pi by P square into A. So by using this relation, we can find out the degree of cell wall thickness. That is, theta is equal to 4 pi by P square into A. So here P is nothing but the perimeter of the that is circle, and then A is nothing but actual cross-sectional area of fiber wall. So this is a simple relationship where you can find out the degree of cell wall thickness. So hope you understand this. So it's very simple. So this theta is nothing but what? Degree of cell wall thickness. So we are representing with A by A dash. So A is nothing but cross-sectional area of fiber wall divided by A dash is nothing but area of cross-sectional area of with same perimeter. That is area of circle of same perimeter. Area of circle of same perimeter. So what we are doing here? So we have taken this theta as A by A dash. And now this is area of circle with same perimeter, which is nothing but A dash. So what we are taking area, that is area of circle is pi r square and perimeter is pi d. So from this we are deriving a small relationship, so by means of which we can find out this theta value. So pi r square, what we are doing is initially we are dividing and multiplying with 4 pi. So this 4 pi and 4 pi will get cancelled, so there is no change in this value. So if you just simplify it, becomes 4, 2 pi into pi square, r square divided by 4 pi. This is the area. Now when it comes to perimeter, so instead of d I can write 2r. Why? Because r is equal to d by 2 and d is equal to 2r. D is equal to 2r. So if you do the square on both ends, p square is equal to pi square into 4 into r square. So if you can simply write 4 pi square into r square. So now if you look at this p square value, you can look at this value. So 4 pi square r square also. So I can write, instead of this 4 pi square r square, I can write p square by 4 pi. So this is the perimeter. That is area of circle with same perimeter. Now what we are doing here, so this a will be like this. Instead of a dash, I am writing this 4 pi by p square, p square by 4 pi, and now this will go up, that is numerator 4 pi by p square into a. So the degree of cell wall thickness theta is finally we are equating to, that is 4 pi by p square into a. So p is nothing but perimeter of the circle and a is nothing but actual cross-sectional area of fiber. So if you know the perimeter of a circle and if you know the actual cross-sectional area of a cell wall, you can find out the degree of cell wall thickness, that is theta. Okay. Now, so a completely solid fiber, if you look at this values of degree of cell wall thickness, for a complete solid fiber where the degree of thickening is going to be 1 and the degree of thickness is equal to 1, and a matured fibers have an average value of around 0.6, and when it is coming to this, when it comes to this immature fibers where the value it is ranging between 0.2 to 0.3. So once if you find out the degree of thickness of any fiber, that is the theta value, based on that value we can say that the fibers are matured or immature fibers. So for a completely solid fiber, that means, so where maximum cell wall thickness is there, where the degree of cell wall thickness is considered to be 1. That is, if you are getting theta value as 1, that means where it is a complete solid fiber. So there is no gaps, that is very minute gaps, that is hole. When it comes to matured fibers, where this degree of cell wall thickness, that is ranging between, that is around 0.6. When it is coming to this immature fibers, where the value is lies between 0.2 to 0.3. 0.2 to 0.3. Okay. Now, if you in order to measure this fiber maturity, so what we can do is, so as you already know, cotton fiber. Okay, so we are doing the processing of cotton fibers, where in the processing industries one of the important operations is mercerization. So what it is happening there, or what we are doing there, we are subjecting the cotton fiber with 18% concentration of caustic soda solution. 18% concentration caustic soda solution. Now what is happening there? Where the cotton fiber is going to swell completely. So because of the swelling, what is happening? Where there are the permanent changes that are going to happen in the fiber. Say for example, as you already know, the cotton is having this, that is bean shape. So after this mercerization process, that is treating with 18% NaOH, that is caustic soda solution, where the structure is going to open up. That means it becomes circular. So this part, because of the swelling, and the maximum swelling is occurring at 18% caustic soda solution. Now we are making use of the fiber property in the process of measuring the maturity. So what we can do? Initially the fibers are like this, and we are treating with this 18% concentrated NaOH solution. Now, if a fiber is a matured fiber, Now what do you think how it changes? So it changes completely to this circular cross section. Suppose if a fiber is not mature, do you think it will convert into its circular cross section? Obviously not. Obviously no. So depending upon the maturity level in a fiber, after subjecting with this 18% caustic soda solution where the swelling is going to be dependent. And now we can take few fibers and we can examine under the microscope and we can easily count how many number of matured fibers and immature fibers. So if you are saying that this is a matured fiber, that means where you can see where the convolutions, there won't be any convolutions. That means what? That means what? You already know this is the longitudinal view of cotton, that is convolutions. Now after this treatment with NaOH, the convolutions are getting disappear and the fiber becomes like this, that is a cylindrical rod-like structure. So you can easily identify these structures in the microscope and you can easily count how many number of these matured and immature fibers are there. Okay, so that is what the same thing here. So to measure the maturity of cotton sample, that is sample of cotton which is swelled in 18% sodium hydroxide and then examine under the microscope. And the appearance of the swollen fibers depend on its degree of thickening and the fibers are classified into 3 groups according to their visual appearance. And if you look at these 3 groups of fibers, so one group is normal fibers where after swelling it appears as the solid rods and that shows no continuous lumen. Just now I just drawn the structure. And the second class is dead fibers are those that after swelling have a continuous lumen and the wall thickness is less than the ribbon width. The wall thickness is very less. Understand? And finally we have the thin walled fibers, which is nothing but half matured fibers, are those that are not classed as normal or dead fibers because it is intermediate, that is the cell wall thickness is intermediate from matured fibers and then immature fibers. Now this graphical representation you can see it clear. Okay. Now if you look at here where this is the degree of thickening in x-axis and this is the frequency y-axis. Now if you see the dead fibers, so if the mature degree of thickness is below this 0.25, we can categorize these fibers as dead fibers, and the degree of thickness it is in between 0.25 to 0.5 categorized as thin wall fibers, and it is more than 0.5 it is categorized as normal fibers. Okay. So that is where this degree of thickness and its measurement is very important. And whatever the results we are getting from this NaOH swelling method, where these results are expressed as the average percentage of normal dead fibers and fibers from which the maturity ratio, this is M is nothing but the maturity ratio, it can be calculated. So depending upon how many number of normal fibers you have seen from the microscope and the number of dead fibers, based on that we can find out this maturity ratio. So it is represented with M. So the formula is N minus D divided by 200 plus 0.7. So by using this formula you can find out the maturity ratio. So how this N value and D value we are getting? N is nothing but number of normal fibers. D is nothing but number of, that is, dead fibers. Okay. Okay. Now whatever this maturity ratio is a measurement that is used commercially. So in case of industries and all, these values only it is commercially it is taken into consideration, and it is connected to average degree of thickening by the relation, that is average degree of thickness is equal to 0.577 into maturity ratio. So this is the relation between the degree of thickness, that is theta, and then maturity ratio. So if you know the theta value, you can find out the maturity ratio. If you know the maturity ratio, you can arrive at the degree of thickness. And we can relate these two things. Okay. And microscopic analysis, while doing this caustic soda swelling, that is method, where it can give us the maturity coefficient values also. So which is also mostly used in India. And these fibers are classified into three groups again: matured, half matured, and immature fibers. And based on number of these fibers, we can find out this maturity coefficient, that is equal to maturity, that is M matured fibers, plus 0.6 into H, that is half matured fibers, plus 0.4 into I. I stands for immature fibers. So divided by 100. So this will give us the maturity coefficient values. If the maturity coefficient, if it is 1, that is if it is between 1 and 2, where that is half matured fibers. If the maturity, that is the maturity coefficient, that is lumen width by wall thickness, it is less than 1, it is matured fibers. If it is immature fiber, in the sense it is greater than 2. Immature fiber in the sense the maturity coefficient is going to be greater than 2. Understand? So in case of the maturity coefficient, if it is less than 1, we consider it as matured fibers. In case of half matured fibers, the value ranges from 1 to 2. And in case of immature, the value is more than 2. Understand? And the percentage of matured fibers, as we already discussed, we can use this formula to find out. And coming to maturity index, and it is also one of the relative index value which can be used to denote the, that is maturity level in the cotton. Okay, then the maturity index, where you can see the values like 0.75 and 0.75 to 0.85. If it is below 0.75, where these fibers are, that is uncommon, like we normally won't get this maturity index fibers. And if it is in between 0.75 0.85, these are immature fibers. 0.86 to 0.95 matured fibers, and above 0.95 they are very mature fibers. Very mature fibers. So as I told you already, we have so many ways to express the fiber maturity, like degree of cell wall thickness, and then maturity ratios, maturity coefficient, and then this maturity index. Okay. Now, if you look at the measurement, that is measurement of fiber maturity, just now we have discussed about the caustic soda swelling method. So those are the direct ways to measure the fiber maturity. So apart from that, we have the caustic soda swelling method. That is, apart from this caustic soda swelling method, we have this polarized light method, and then image based cross section measurement. So these are the three direct methods which are used to measure the fiber maturity, and most widely this caustic soda swelling method is preferred. Okay. And if you look at this direct measurement, where the measurement of maturity is going to be directly, and in case of sodium hydroxide swelling technique, the fibers are imaged in NaOH and the appearance is going to be analyzed in the microscope. And ribbon-like fibers and convoluted fibers are treated as immature fibers, and rod-like fibers are treated as mature fibers. So after subjecting in caustic soda solution, if the fibers are rod-like structures, we are saying that those are matured fibers. If it is ribbon-like structure, there are any convolutions, so that is categorized as matured fibers. And in case of polarized light technique, the immaturity is determined based on the color of light reflected from the cotton fiber. Color of light that is reflected from the immature fibers. So based on the light reflection, okay, where we are going to find out the fiber maturity. Okay, so these are all. This is all about cotton fiber maturity. Okay, so in this class we have discussed about what is this fiber maturity and what is the importance of fiber maturity, and if the yarn is having more number of or high percentage of matured fibers, what sort of difficulties will come in the yarn, and later processing stage. And we have seen the ways to express the fiber maturity by denote, that is based on the cell wall thickness and then the thickness of lumen, that is the halo portion of the fiber, halo portion in the fiber. And based on these things, we can categorize the fibers as matured fibers, dead fibers, and then immature fibers or half matured fibers based on this thickness, cell wall thickness. And this cell wall thickness we can denote by using degree of cell wall thickening, that is theta. So which is the ratio of the cross sectional area, that is actual cross sectional area of cell wall divided by where the area of circle with same perimeter. And we have derived a relation where from which we have arrived at theta is equal to 4 pi by p square into capital A. So by using that relation we can find out the degree of cell wall thickness. And then we have seen the maturity ratio by finding out the fiber maturity by using caustic soda swelling method, and from that maturity ratios we have seen even the formula also, and afterwards we have seen the value, that is ranges of values. Okay, like the maturity coefficient like 1 and 1 to 2 and then more than 2, and how we are categorizing the fibers. And finally we have seen the various methods to determine the fiber maturity. So we have mainly focused on this caustic soda swelling method. Understand? So this is all about the fiber maturity. Hope you understand this class, and the next class we will discuss about the fiber strength. Okay, so till then, thank you.